Two lessons for younger men. You have to be willing to give up the things you love now for the thing you want. And you may not like the price for what you want, but you can't change the price. And so it goes back to, in order to become the champion, you have to be the champion before you become champion. That means lifestyle. It means you have to train, to eat, to sleep, to breathe, to think the way the champion thinks well in advance, because that's what makes you into the champion, is living that lifestyle, you know? So you have to be him before you become him. Um, we're going to touch on a couple more points, but the main thing that I would like us to take home today is, number one, you have to be willing to you have to be willing to trade the things you love now for the things that you really want, for what you actually want to do with your life. In order to have that big impact, there is a give and take. Life is fair in that way. So you have to be willing to sacrifice the things that you love right now. You have to be willing to sacrifice some Saturdays with the boys. You have to be willing to sacrifice the bachelor lifestyle and this and that, because the time that you get back from that and the resources that you get back from that are the resources that you're going to be putting into pursuing your dream. And these things are the price. And so you may not like the price, you may not like the cost, but you can't change it. So it's either you want to achieve that thing and you will do what is required, or you're not going to do what is required and therefore not going to achieve that thing. It becomes as simple as that ultimately. Um, Memories pay dividends. I like looking back on what I've done only so far as to excite me for what's to come. And so this is when you have made those trade offs. Great man said, sometimes you have to be willing to trade good for great. Sometimes you have to be willing to trade an all right life for a spectacular life. Sometimes you have to be willing to go above and beyond to become exactly who you want to be and live life exactly the way you want to live it. Because you're only going to get one shot. You're not going to get multiple shots. This is it. It's happening now. And so, in the times when you suffer, looking back, suffering doesn't seem as hard. It doesn't seem as long. You don't really feel the pain or impact of the things that you did, but the positives, the victories, the wins, you remember those vividly. And so memories pay dividends. When you sacrifice to make that big thing happen, just knowing that you did that is something that lives on with you forever. But if you quit, however, then the pain is going to last forever. The regret is going to last forever. Hmm. They say fake it till you make it, but there's nothing fake about it. There is just a process that you have to go to and realize that that's what the grind looks like. You have to see it when nobody else sees it, and you have to believe it even when you can't see it. And so there's nothing fake about it. There's no fake it till you make it. There is no faking it. Um, I started this YouTube channel and I was talking one on one to camera uh, over there with a terrible background and no ring light, no microphone, nothing. And that's not faking it. That is the process. Yes, I started talking and I was talking to no one. I was talking to thin air. A couple of friends saw it here and there. And then now viewership over time is picking up and it will continue to pick up the more you're consistent. Because I will become better at delivering the messages, and the messages themselves will become higher quality because I will become a higher quality individual. The price went up. Yesterday's price is not today's price, because yesterday's value is not today's value. And so realize that yesterday, the price point that we were at yesterday was not a fake price just because the price point is higher now. It's realizing that it's all a part of the process, and there's nothing fake about having no muscles, going to the gym, going to lift. There's nothing fake about that. You are living the lifestyle. You are becoming someone who is well trained, has a good physique, whatever the case. There's nothing fake about reading business books before you own a business. There's nothing fake about calling yourself a CEO, founder of a company. Like, that is the process. Every self-made millionaire and billionaire started with what you have now, which is nothing. And guess what? If you fail, what will you have then? Nothing, except for what? Experience. So you can only win. You can only get better by going after your dreams and going after the things that you really want to do. You only gain experience and you only become a more well suited individual to actually achieve what you're setting out to achieve. And so every day is a trying day, Gustavo. Let's try again today. What if today's the day, Gustavo? What if tomorrow's the day? What if it's the day after that? We've all seen that picture where there are two men digging towards a certain. They're digging towards diamonds. It's like diamonds in a thingy here. And then this man digs, and he's this far away, and he turns around, and then there's another one. Oh, he's actually this far away. He's really really close, and he turns around, and then there's a next man who's maybe if he was this far away, then the other guy is like this far away now. So it's like, are you also gonna be like this guy, and are you gonna turn 3 meters away from gold, or are you gonna follow through? There is no the only failure is quitting. It's either you are learning and improving or you are succeeding. And the success is the learning and improving. That's the trick that they don't tell you. And so realize that everyone else that you're around wants to wants to get rich quick and is afraid to actually put the work in to actually stack those failures up. And the only difference between winners and losers is that losers are buried by their failures and winners are standing on top of them because they never gave up. um, Everyone's afraid of work. Everyone wants to get rich quick, and that's why lotteries are a billion-dollar industry, right? And so realize that when you have those dissimilarities, and it's something I'm going to touch on later as well, but when you have those dissimilarities with the people around you, it's a good thing, not a bad thing. I have something a little later on that I'll make sure I touch on, which is the more weird you are is a reflection of how committed you are. And so when you do have things in common, I'll give this very live example. Yesterday, I'm on my way home and I get to talking to this one guy, and what we're talking about, or the things we have in. I can't talk to him about business. I can't talk to him about big dreams. I can't talk to him about the things that I really want to talk about visions, this and that. The only thing I could possibly talk to him about is there were cute girls there. And so the fact that I have that in common with him, just that idea of, hey bro, sometimes we be spinning plates. And I was talking about my past self, when I was talking to him, but hey bro, I just can't be that dude again. And he was on his way to link up a thing like there and then. He was like, yo bro, I was actually talking to a thing now and I'm gonna link her up, blah blah. I'm like, yeah, no, all power to you. And same for him. He was also like, hey, all power to you, brother. I mean, it's up to you. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it's your life. But ultimately, realize that the more you have in common with the common man, the more common the results that you're going to get are going to be. And so, by definition, in order to be exceptional, you have to be the exception. And so, look very carefully at the things. And sometimes it's not an elimination thing, sometimes it's a moderation thing. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I'm not going to all of a sudden become asexual, you know? I do plan on becoming like a family man, this, that, and the third. So there is relevance to kind of dating and seeing what's out there, but also it comes with the discipline of cutting it off immediately when you know it's not going to go anywhere. The thing that's going to help me is the celibacy journey that I'm on, especially during this year. I started last year, but all the way through this year, I'm not even thinking about anything like that. And so that journey helps because it helps you filter a bit more because you know what you're not going to do, and that's usually what keeps people in toxic situations that they ought not to be in. That keeps people in toxic situations that they ought not to be in because the intimacy is so good and alumnana, you man alumnana to you, but you know that she's not for you, and it's a very toxic relationship, and it's back and forth, and it's both sided. They both know they should be in this situation, but now they are enjoying this one part of it, and that is clouding to the rest of the experience, and the rest of the things they ought to see that let them know and clearly indicate that they're not meant to be. So now for me, those things are going to be louder because I'm eliminating that element, and making sure that we are, laser focused on getting done what we need to get done, and realize that focus is not an addition equation, it's a subtraction equation. When you remove everything that is not what you want to do, focus is what's left. I'll repeat that. You don't add focus. It's not, okay, I have this many things to do. I have that, and that. I need to focus. I need to just add focus, and then all of this will get done. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm doing that and that only. That's focus. Focus is the quality and quantity of the things you say no to. And so if there are this many awesome things that you could do, but this is the most high leverage play that you could possibly do, obviously you do the work prior to make sure that you have as much information as possible to make high quality decisions. And then you choose that high leverage play and you remove everything else. You choose that one objective. You strategize. Strategy can be defined as limited resources against unlimited options. So you choose where to put your limited resources. And so that is a very big part of what we're trying to do. On to the next thing, which is, if you get rich quick, you get poor even faster, which comes from there's this girl and she wished for a weapon but not the skill to use it. Meaning with these get rich quick schemes or these ideas, even if you won, you would lose much quicker than you want it, because you don't know how to make money, so you don't know how to multiply money, and so you could never keep money. And if you keep it, you're keeping it dormant. For what purpose? You get what I'm trying to say? Like, and so we often do make that mistake. We often wish for the weapon, but not the skill to wield it. And let's not make that mistake. Um, let's stack the relevant skills within the realms that we want to get to. I mean, I often find myself, to be completely honest with you, sometimes asking God, hey God, nah, it's time now, bro. If you just hit me with a young 2 meter, I wouldn't complain. But the truth is, even if he did give me a large sum of money, I would just keep it because I don't know what to do with it. Because I'm very well aware that there's a lot that I don't know. And so if I, for example, created artificial growth, if I pumped that money into my business now and did advertising and this and that, and people sign up for it, my product is not good enough at the moment for the standard that I want it to be at. I'm not good enough for the standard that I want to be at. And yes, it is at the end of the day a trial and error thing. It is an experience thing. Like, you go forward and you find out, within the game, what's actually going on, who's actually for you, what side you're on, which way the things are going. However, we do have to have that internal gauge as well of, okay, do I feel confident? And the only way to build confidence is through repetition. Do I feel like I've repeated this enough that I can predict the outcome? That's confidence. And so when you get to that place where you've repeated, then you will naturally progress. The marketplace will reward you for what you're able to do, as long as you're continuously doing the things that you need to do, which, for example, reaching out. If you're contacting people, if you have a high quality offer, this and that, then that's what the marketplace will reward. And so it's not even about the finances. Like, I often think to myself that even if I did come into a large sum of money, I would not change a thing about my lifestyle, because it's not okay. I'll tell you this: the things that would change would be, for example, the quality of the equipment. So I have equipment here at home. I'd probably get better equipment. I have books. I'd probably just get more books. So the only thing that would change is perhaps the speed at which I'm doing things, or the quality of the machinery, this and that. But in terms of as a concept, yeah, like I get like maybe a quality camera, quality lighting, a more. But in terms of the substance of my day, it would not change one bit, because the process is exactly what it needs to be. All that is missing now, all that is left, is for me to trust the process, be patient, and time. So it's just patience, continuing to execute, continuing to show up. So it's show up, and it's you keep showing up, you never quit, you keep improving. If you never quit and keep improving, then you'll become who you need to become to get to where you want to go. And so it's trusting that the process is exactly what it needs to be. And so, like I said, if I came into that money, the process would be exactly what it is now because the process is exactly what it needs to be. And all that's missing is just time. It's time, patience, and improvement. That's it. Gradually, it's slow, but I don't think you would want it any other way. That's another lesson that I wanna put a very serious pin in and highlight it because you wouldn't want it any other way. You wouldn't want it easy. Not really. Sometimes you think you'd like it if it was easy, but you get bored of life very quickly. There's stories you hear of the phrase, when I was 20, I wanted to be a millionaire. Now that I'm a millionaire, I want to be 20. It's the journey. Second video in a row I'm saying that, and it still sounds corny as hell, but it really genuinely is. It's the process that makes you sweet. It's the process that is the enjoyable part. It's the uncertainty that gives life variety. It's not knowing that if you're doing the right things and when the things are going to pay off, and when you're going to have built something that you can be proud of, and being proud of yourself in every single day for showing up. It's all of that. It is 100,000% the process. So I wanna move on to the next thing quickly. I'm gonna hit 2 points. First is that skills are the ultimate freedom and representation of excellence because no one can take away who you are and what you can do. They can take your job, your land, your relationships, but no force in the known universe can take away your skills. That's number one, right? In a divorce, they can take your house, they can take they can take you for everything you have, but they can never ever take away who you are and what you do. That's one point, and there's a lot more to hit here. And for the people who watch my shorts here, you're probably gonna get a few previews. Um, okay, and the last one is okay. I'll do two. I'll do two. If you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. No one asks before they play the game, is this game worth playing? Or we often, especially as young men, we don't ask ourselves before we go into things, is this thing worth doing? What is the consequence of this thing? How will doing this affect my life? What will that look like? We don't really think things through. Another very which connects to this is okay. Let me just touch these big two, and then let you guys get out of here because I don't want to do too much. I don't want to do too much. Moving rapidly is most often not a consequence of speed of activity, but of elimination of waste. And then the last one is most men spend more time defending their excuses than defending their ambitions. Being able to move very quickly through life is about avoiding mistakes. Um, Jeff Bezos said something about the ability to be right most of the time. That the wealthiest people, the most successful people, have the ability to be right most of the time, and they can do that because they've been wrong. They've been wrong multiple times, but it's also about being able to, at any point, let it destroy you. Let the dream destroy you, shape you, and mold you into exactly who you need to be and what you need to be in order to achieve it. Meaning, that ability to take your most dearly held belief and allow it to be challenged, and to rather be closer to the truth, to rather live in truth than be right. Most people would rather be right than to be close to the truth. Like most people would rather whatever they thought. Most people will look for confirmation. It's called confirmation bias. We all have it, but the most wealthy people see life more clearly because they are able to do a very unnatural thing, which is take empty the basket of beliefs that you have and examine them, because most of the time they're not even your beliefs. You just heard these things. It's what your people believe. It's what you've been told to believe. It's what your parents said. It's what that one teacher said. It's what your friend said. Most of the times these beliefs aren't even yours. You've adopted them. And so to have that ability to take them, which is very unnatural, like I said, because we are tribal creatures, right? We grow up and we mimic, and that's how we learn to talk. That's how we learn to act. That's how we learn to, okay. So to take those things, those dearly held beliefs, and say, does this serve me? And is it true? And to take an opposing idea and put it right next to yours and say, okay, which one of these seems closer to the truth to me? And to be okay with leaving the room saying, I was wrong. Now I know. Very, very, a very, very important skill. And it ties into that last point, which is most men spend more time defending their excuses than defending their ambitions. Most men spend most of their time telling you exactly why they can't, or they're less than, or the opportunity was taken from them, or this happened to me, that happened to me, I was born like this, that happened. They just remove all accountability from themselves. um, and I believe the opposite is where power lies. I believe power lies in taking full accountability, because what is in your control you can change. You can't change anything that is not in your control. So as much as you can, make things controllables, because you can control the controllables. And when you ultimately execute on those things that you can do, you'll find that the things that you can't become easier or irrelevant. And that's when you're strategizing correctly, you're doing the right things, you're locked in. um, all that being said, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I've been Sage, a young man myself, also trying to navigate this thing called life. Picked up some nuggets of wisdom here and there from the greatest men who have lived, from men that I look up to. And that's the beauty of reading, right? Is you get to spend time with the greatest minds who have ever lived, and you get to speak their thoughts, especially if you talk about in terms of a biography context, um, where a person literally has written out their life. You get to think what they thought. You get to almost live their experiences through your imagination. You get to be in that scenario, and they'll tell you exactly what the thought process was, what was happening where, and you can become those great men briefly. And in those things, not just biographies, autobiographies, their books in general, you'll often find that it's where they leave their nuggets of wisdom. And that's what my channel is ultimately dedicated to, if I'm being completely honest. Yes, you will see me very soon wearing Sage Consultation apparel and this and that, which is all going to be great for kind of building a bit more awareness for my company. Um, and I do share nuggets of business and financial advice in this channel too. But ultimately, it's an educational platform. Ultimately, I'm just here to share. I'm here to share what I believe is best practice, and I'm here to share what I've been through that validates the things that I say. More often than not, you'll find that whenever I say to do something, it's not just something that I've read in some book. I've lived it. I have gone through the process of emptying my beliefs. I was raised Christian. Is this a cross that you see around my neck? No, it's not. I've been Muslim for a stint. I've studied all religions. I've been here, there, everywhere. And so that is the process through which you are emptying that basket. You are letting go of what you think you believe. um, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I've worked 9 to 5, I've worked minimum wage, and I've worked in higher positions than that. And for me, the path is this is ultimately the path that I have found is what works for me and is what I like to do. And it may be different for you, but ultimately it's about finding that path and doing everything possible to make a dream come true, just to realize that, oh, it's actually not my dream, is a process that I've been through. I've done that. And that's why I encourage it so much, because it did so much for me. And so if you do want to help me go on this journey, continue doing what I do, then the best that you can do is hit that subscribe button and or share to a friend. If you already have subscribed, then if you share this video, if you share the channel to a friend that you would like to also come on this journey of self-betterment, self-development, and just creating a better Africa, a better world, for our people. Because we've always been, and this is, I'm not anti anyone, I'm just pro me. So I'm not anti anyone else. I just find that her people have always been, you know, broken, battered, abused, exploited, and no one has ever just been for her. I mean, we've had freedom fighters, this and that, but historically, everyone has folded at some point. Everyone's fought until a certain point, and then when it really mattered, they folded. And this is all the way from the African revolutionaries, who were part of, say, the African National Congress, and this is a part of the royalty that was there beforehand, that was actually replaced, this and that. Listen, at the end of the day, what happened happened. I'm not saying that there was no reason that it happened. I'm not saying that it isn't fair game that it happened. I'm not saying that it wasn't difficult positions that they were put in. But when it comes to this, there are great men who have died on the hill that is for our people, and I will put my name amongst those great men. I'm willing to put my name amongst those great men, but hopefully I will die having left our people in a better position. And so, help go on this journey. Hit that button, share it to a friend. I've been Sage, signing out.